Let's face it, the monochrome camera is not for everyone because most people want to express visually in color. So with that perspective, this camera is unpractical. In fact, it doesn't make sense at all. It's overpriced. It's something that even has less features. Why would you buy something that has less features, such as lacking color? When I pick up the monochrome versus the typical M11, it's giving you permission to do exactly what you had intended to do in the first place. That is the biggest and most understated advantage in working or owning with a monochrome camera. This episode is the first of a series about my journey with the new, to me at least, Leica M11 monochrome. But before I get started, I first need to give a shout out and a special thank you to my dear friend Dave. Without his help, I wouldn't be talking to you with this new camera rig that he helped me set up. He's also helped me with some of the gear and the peripherals that I'm using to film this video today. Guys, if you have not checked out his channel, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, I've linked it below. He's not only an amazing photographer, videographer, artist, musician, he's just an amazing human being. Back to the monochrome cameras. So this is the Leica M11 monochrome. This camera's only been in my hands for just a couple of weeks now, so this will be more of my initial impressions. To contextualize some of the visuals I'm going to share with you for the rest of this video, I need to introduce Sierra, who is my best friend. She's my partner. She is an amazing artist, and she is absolutely in love with color. In fact, all of her art is about bright, vibrant color. I'm always wanting to shoot in black and white. And as you can imagine, if I were to ask her, hey, I'm gonna bring this monochrome camera on our family trip, she'd be like, you're not bringing this black and white camera on our family trip. Paso Robles is located on the central coast of California. It's got an abundance of impressive wineries and restaurants. There's almond orchards, there's olive farms. It's scenic, it's charming, and it's full of color. And I brought this camera that shoots only black and white photos. I do want to mention one thing, that I have launched a coaching program. So you can look at the details on my website. I've also linked that below. This is limited to only 10 people. Why? Because I want to really make sure that I'm giving you 100% of my attention. It's a one-on-one program where we will spend time individually together, at least 1 hour a month on a video call. We'll be doing photo reviews and you'll be given assignments. You can ask anything that you want for that time. This time is going to be for you. So if you are working through a new camera, you're working through maybe a lull or a phase, maybe you just want to level up on your creativity, nothing's off the table here. Back to the M11 monochrome and why we're considering this today, and why I actually purchased this camera. That's no surprise if you've looked at my work. I predominantly work in black and white. Let's just get to the point here. When you hold a black and white camera, or you're working with a film camera that's loaded with a black and white only film, there's no more BS to work with. You know exactly what you're shooting. The commitment has been made. It simplifies the process. So back to the comment that I made earlier in this video about, this camera doesn't make sense. It's not pragmatic. It's completely impractical. Why would you spend that much money on a camera like this? Well, that view is from someone that feels that this camera is limiting. And it is in a sense where you can't go back to color because it's only going to record in black and white, but is it actually limiting? In my opinion, I find it more freeing. I find it enabling. I find it giving me permission to work, to see, to basically do what I want to do with this camera. Okay, so some of the other features here. Let's talk about the fact that it's a monochrome camera, right? It doesn't have a color filter. You can then use color filters with this camera just like you would have when you're working with a black and white film camera. You can use orange or red filters to punch contrast in sky, drops down the luminance in your blues, right? Okay, another feature is there's no purple fringing, right? You don't have to deal with that whatsoever because We don't have color. It really just allows you to focus on what your job is and what you're going to do. And you do see differently when you start to work and think in black and white. You look more at tonality, you look more at structure, you're focused more on content, and the color becomes less distractive. Yeah, I'm a bit more comfortable with artifacting or grain. It's not what's important to me with the image, but the monochrome does give you that advantage. It does basically see in the dark. It also just sees light differently. So whether you've got fluorescence or incandescence or LEDs mixed with sun or flash strobe, it just sees differently. I won't say it's better or worse, it's just different. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm going to get into more detail about the nuances of the monochrome in future videos. I'm going to talk more specifically about the M11 monochrome. But because this camera has been out for a few years, I think there's plenty of content out there. I hate to close on something that's more criticism than compliment about the monochrome. And again, to be clear, right, this camera is ridiculous on the surface. On surface level, for most people, it's a ridiculous camera. As an artist, pragmatics, I'm throwing that out the window. This camera is one of my favorite cameras ever to work with. The M10 monochrome was my favorite camera because the modernization, the conveniences, the battery level, everything with the new M11 monochrome, I'm expecting this to be now my next new favorite camera. It's not there yet. I'm still making friends with it. But one critique I do have is the M11 monochrome seems to have a very slow startup. It takes seconds. I mean, I feel like I could brew a cup of coffee before the camera fires up. And if Leica is listening, the one thing that we see as with improvements with the camera that I see is almost already perfect is boost that startup. Let's improve that, please. I mean, we live in the moment, right? Capturing the moment. I hate using that word capture. I'm going to do 10 push-ups after I just said that. Is if you're about the moment, then why don't we have a faster startup on these cameras? All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, stay curious, keep clicking, and I will have some videos coming back at you soon. I've got the new set here. We haven't really built it out yet, so here I am just like head with a gray background thing, but here we go. Look, I'm watching, I'm listening. If you have any questions, I'm not about gatekeeping. I'm just open book here, so go ahead and make a comment if there's something you'd like to see, more you'd like to know about as far as my process or why I prefer what camera or what I'm doing. Please go ahead and hit me up. I'll talk to you guys soon.